Legendary Passages, Episode 28. The Megara, the first wife of Heracles, plus the lover of Aphrodite. Last time, one of the odes recounted the story of baby Heracles. This time we hear two passages, a dialogue between Heracles' mother Alcmena and his wife Megara, and then the fate of Adonis, mortal lover of Aphrodite. First, there is an introduction to the text, setting the scene in Tyrins, while Heracles is out on his labors. The translator compares this text to the 25th Idyll of Theocritus, featured next episode, and also way back in episode 4. The passage begins with Megara's monologue, where she first asks why her mother-in-law cries so much, for her own woes are countless. Her perfect man killed their children in front of her, and she wishes that she had joined them. All of her friends and family are far away, and her husband is gone for months at a time. Alcmena reveals to her that she loves her as if she were her own daughter, and that every time Heracles leaves, she does not know if she shall ever see him again. Alcmena had a terrible nightmare of a field worker in a great wall of fire, and her other son Iphicles fallen and unable to rise, and prays that misfortune not fall on her own family, but on the house of Eurystheus. The second passage is from the Bucolic collection, and is quite short. Adonis, lover of Aphrodite, was killed by a boar, who then tells her that the boy was so beautiful he tried to kiss him, but instead his tusks gored him to death. The Megara, a legendary passage, from The Megara and the Dead Adonis, translated by J. M. Edmonds. This poem gives a picture of Heracles' wife and mother at home in his house at Tyrins, while he is abroad about his labors. The two women sit weeping. The wife bewails his mad murder of their children, and gently hints that the mother might give her more sympathy in her sorrow if she would not be forever lamenting her own. To which the kind old Alcmena replies, "Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." But through her own anxiety for the safety of the laboring Heracles, increased now by an evil dream, is food enough, God knows, for lamentation. She feels, as indeed Megara must know full well, for her sorrowing daughter too. The poem bears a resemblance to Theocritus 25, and is thought by some to belong to the same author. Megara, the wife of Heracles, addresses his mother Alcmena. "Mother dear, O why is thy heart cast down in this exceeding sorrow, and the rose of thy cheek a withering away? What is it, sweet, that hath made thee so sad? Is it because thy doughty son be given troubles innumerable by a man of naught, as a lion might be given by a fawn? O well a day that the gods should have sent me this dishonour, and alas that I should have begotten unto such an evil lot. Woe's me, that I that bedded with a man above reproach, I that esteemed him as the light of my eyes, and do render him heart's worship and honour to this day, should have lived to see him of all the world most miserable, and best acquaint with the taste of woe. O misery, that the bow and arrows given him of the great Apollo should prove to be the dire shafts of a death spirit, or a fury, so that he should run stark mad in his own home, and slay his own children withal, and reave them of dear life, and fill the house with murder and blood. I, with my own miserable eyes, I saw my children smitten of the hand of their father, and that hath no other so much as dreamt of. And for all they cried and cried upon their mother, I could not help them. So present and invincible was their evil hap. But even as a bird that waileth upon her young ones, perishing when her babes be devoured one by one of a dire serpent in the thicket, and flies to and fro, the poor raving mother, screaming above her children, cannot go near to aid them for her own great terror of that remorseless monster. Even so this unhappiest of mothers, that's before thee, did speed back and forth through all that house in a frenzy, crying woe upon her petty brood. O would to thee, kind Artemis, great queen of us poor women, would I too had fallen with a poisoned arrow in my heart, and so died also. Then had my parents taken and wept over us together, and laid us with several rites on one funeral pyre, and so gathered all those ashes in one golden urn, and buried them in the land of our birth. But alas, they dwell in the Theban country of steeds, and do till the deep loam of the Aeonian lowlands, while I be in the ancient Terinthian hold of Hera, and my heart casts down the manifold pain ever and unceasingly, and never a moment's respite from the tears. As for my husband, 'tis but a little of my time my eyes do look upon him in our home, seeing he hath so many labours to do abroad by land and sea, with that brave heart of his, so strong as stone or steel. And as for you, you were poured out like water, weeping along of every day and night Zeus giveth to the world, and one other of my kindred can come and play me comforter. They be no next-door neighbours, they, seeing they dwell every one of them away beyond the piny isthmus, and so I have none to look to, such as a thrice miserable woman needs to revive her heart, save only my sister Pyrrha, and she hath her own sorrow for her husband Iphicles, and he your son. For methinks never in all the world hath woman borne so ill-fated children as a god and a man to beget upon you. So far spake Megara, the great tears falling so big as apples in her lovely bosom, first at the thought of her children, and thereafter at the thought of her father and mother. And Alcmena, she in like manner did bedew her pale wan cheeks with tears, now fetching a deep sigh, spake words of wisdom unto her dear daughter. My poor girl, says she, what is come over thy prudent heart? How is it thou wilt be disquieting us both with this talk of sorrows unforgettable? Thou hast bewept them so many times before. Are not the misfortunes which possess us enough each day as they come? Surely that he should fall accounting in the midst of miseries like ours would be a very fond lover of lamentation. Be of good cheer. Heaven hath not fashioned us of much stuff as that. And what is more, I need no telling, dear child, of thy sadness, for I can see thee before me labouring of unabated woes, and God wot I know what 'tis to be sore vexed when the very joys of life are loathsome, and I am exceeding sad and sorry thou should have part in the baneful fortune that hangs us so heavily overhead. For before the maid I swear it, and before the robed meter, and any that willingly and of ill intent forsweareth these, will rue it sore. I love thee no whit less than I had loved thee, wert thou come of my womb and wert the dear only daughter of my house. And of this methinks thou thyself cannot be ignorant altogether. Wherefore never say thou, sweetheart, that I heed thee not, albeit I weep faster than the fair-tressed Niobe herself. For even such laments as hers are no shame to be made of a mother for the ill hap of a child. Why, I ailed for 9 months, big with him, or ever I so much as beheld him, and he brought me nigh unto the porter at the gate of death. So ill-bested was I in the birth-pangs of him. And now he is gone away to a new harbour, alone in a foreign land, nor I can tell, more's the woe, whether he will be given me again or not. And what is more, there is come to disquiet my sweet slumber a direful dream, and the adverse vision makes me exceedingly afraid lest it ever work something untoward upon my children. There appeared to me a trusty mattock, even as one hired to labour. He was digging a ditch along the edge of a spring field, and was without either cloak or belted jerkin. And when his labouring the strong fence of that place of vines was got all to its end, then he would stick his spade upon the pile of the earth he had digged, and put on those clothes that he wore before. But lo, there outshined above the deep trench a fire inextinguishable, and there rolled about him a marvellous great flame. And this he went quickly backward, and so ran away, with intent to escape the baleful might of the god of fire, with his mattock ever held before his body like a buckler, and his eyes turned now this way and that, lest the consuming fire should set him alight. Then methought the noble Iphicles, willing to aid him, slipped or ever he came at him, and fell to earth, nor could not rise up again. Nay, but lay there helpless like some poor weak old man, who constrained of joyless age to fall, lieth on the ground, and needs must lie, till a passenger, for the sake of the more honor of his hoary beard, take him by the hand and raise him up. So then lay targeteer Ithacles along, and as for me, I wept to behold the perilous plight of my children, till sleep the delectable was gone from my eyes, and lo, there comes to me the lightsome dawn. Such our dreams, dear heart, have disquieted me all the night long, and I only pray they all may turn from any hurt of our house to make mischief upon Eurystheus. Against him be the prophecy of my soul, and fate ordain that, and that only, for the fulfillment of it. The Dead Adonis. This piece of Anacreontian verse is shown by both style and meter to be of late date, and was probably incorporated in the bucolic collection only because of its connection in subject with the lament for Adonis. When the Cytherean saw Adonis dead, his hair dishevelled, and his cheeks wan in place, she bade the Loves go fetch her the boar, and they forthwith flew away, and scoured the woods till they found the sullen boar. Then they shacked him both before and behind, and one did put a noose about the prisoner's neck, and so drag him, and another belaboured him with his bow, and so did drive, and the craven beast went along in the abject dread of the Cytherean. Then up spake Aphrodite, saying, Vilest of all beasts, can it be thou that didst despite this fair thigh, and thou that didst strike my husband? To which the beast, I swear to thee, Cytherean, answered he, by thyself and by thy husband, and by these my bonds, and these thy huntsmen. Never would I have smitten thy pretty husband, but that I saw him there beautiful as a statue, and I could not withstand the burning mad desire to give his naked thigh a kiss. And now I pray thee, make good havoc of me. Pray take and cut off these tusks. Pray take and punish them. For why should I possess teeth so passionate? And if they suffice thee not, then take my chaps also, why durst they kiss? Then had Cyprus compassion, and bade the Loves loose his bonds, and he went not to the woods, but from that day forth followed her, and more, went to the fire, and those his tusks burnt away.